Hello everyone, and welcome back to Station for Learning. Imagine entering a classroom where the teacher speaks for the entire lesson while students quietly take notes. Students memorize the information and later reproduce it in an exam. They are never encouraged to ask questions, challenge ideas, or connect learning to their own experiences. Does this sound familiar? According to the Brazilian educator and philosopher Paulo Freire, this traditional approach treats students like empty containers to be filled with information. He called this approach the banking model of education. In today's lecture, we will discuss who Paulo Freire was and what the banking model of education means. We will also cover characteristics of the banking model and why Freire criticized this approach. We will explore the consequences of the banking model and the alternative problem-posing model. Finally, we will discuss the relevance of Freire ideas in modern education. Paulo Freire was a Brazilian educator and philosopher who became one of the most influential thinkers in educational theory. His most famous book, Pedagogy of the Oppressed, published in 1970, transformed educational philosophy around the world. Freire believed education should not merely transfer information, but should empower learners to think critically and question injustice. His philosophy is based on dialogue, participation, reflection, and critical thinking. Freire used the metaphor of banking to explain traditional education. Just as people deposit money into a bank account, teachers deposit information into students. Students simply receive, memorize, and repeat the information. In this system, the teacher is considered the owner of knowledge. Students are viewed as empty vessels. Learning becomes memorization instead of understanding. Success is measured by the ability to recall information. Knowledge flows in only one direction, from teacher to student. There is little opportunity for discussion, creativity, or independent thinking. Freire believed this model resembles a bank because the teacher makes deposits and students receive them. Students store the deposits and later withdraw the information during examinations. Learning becomes a mechanical process rather than an intellectual journey. Students are not encouraged to create knowledge, they simply store it. The teacher dominates the classroom and lectures while students mostly listen. The teacher decides what is important and students rarely contribute their own ideas. Students become passive listeners, dependent on teachers for answers. Curiosity is discouraged because questioning may interrupt the flow of information. The focus is on remembering facts rather than understanding ideas. Students prepare for examinations by memorizing notes and then often forget the material after the exam. Communication flows only from teacher to students with little dialogue or debate. The teacher possesses authority and the relationship becomes hierarchical rather than collaborative. Students are trained to accept information without questioning it, which discourages creativity and problem solving. Instead of asking why, students simply accept what. Freire strongly criticized the system because it suppresses creativity and discourages critical consciousness. Students become consumers of information rather than creators of knowledge. Freire introduced critical consciousness, which means understanding social, political, and economic realities and taking action to improve society. The banking model prevents students from developing this awareness. Rather than encouraging learners to become active citizens, the banking model trains them to obey authority without questioning. Education becomes a tool for maintaining the status quo rather than